Ladies, it's your time to shine with all things fabulous with First for Women on Afternoon Express. For insurance with a host of fabulous benefits, call 0861 11 18 44 or SMS FIRST to 49267.
Good afternoon, South Africa. Welcome to Afternoon Express. I'm Bonnie Mbule. It's a Thursday, and it's my favorite day in the loft because we talk fashion.
I can't wait. Very, very excited. One day away from the weekend. Good afternoon, SA. SABC3 is where you're at, Amponang Mateba, and we're very excited to have some of South Africa's fashion heavyweights in the loft with us.
Of course. We speak to the king of South African fashion, Mr. David Tlale, and he's brought along his latest collection.
Ooh, yes. So, ladies, make sure you do not go anywhere. Plus, we bring you the next installment in our fashion series. Going to be giving you some styling tips so you can look styling this weekend, courtesy of Jackie Berger, Lele Patterson, and, of course, our very own style guru, Alexis May. So much to do, so little time. Let's close over to the kitchen and see who Danilo has with him.
Why, thank you, ladies, so much. Yes, welcome to Afternoon Express. My name is Danilo Acquisto, and joining us in the loft today is one of the most warm-hearted and kind people I know, Noluthando Meje. She's an actress. You'll know her from your television screens. Nolly, welcome to Afternoon Express.
Thank you,
It's good to have you here,
Thank you
Scotty.
so much.
We'll be catching up with her about her career later on in the show, but also Claire is back in the kitchen. Now, here we're using things like coconut and pork, and I know we're not using Nolly, I meant like real coconut and pork, right?
Oh, it's so nice to have someone else in the kitchen to get ragged on and not just me.
What are we making today,
So
Claire?
pork belly braised in coconut water. It really is a delicious one. Sounds strange, but I promise you're going to love it.
Awesome. So it's from Vietnam, and if you want to download the recipe, go to our website, www.afternoonexpress.co.za. Also find it on Facebook and find us on Twitter, Afternoon Chat, and use the hashtag Afternoon Express. How about we kick off the show with our first guest on the couch?
Thank you so much, Danilo. I love Thursdays in the loft right here on Afternoon Express because it's all things fashion, and today we're very fortunate to have in our loft the king of South African fashion. With more than 10 years since the launch of his first brand, he has won countless awards both in South Africa and abroad. Joining me on the couch is superstar designer David Tlale. Welcome to the loft. I'm saying king of South African fashion and your head goes, do you not like that title at all?
Let's just move on.
You want to be modest and you want to be humble about it.
That's
Okay.
all right.
But something very interesting about you, when you were still young, at a very young age, you used to make clothes for Barbie dolls.
Yeah.
Do you remember what you made them from, and do you still have them?
I know that I used to steal my sister's blouses and cut them, and I was always in trouble because my mom would come back and she'd found that I have cut one of the blouses. And obviously I had no needle or thread, so I would just take it and tie knots and cut a piece and then tie knots as well. So it was a bit crazy, but it was fun.
That's incredible. From a young age, and then fast forward to 2003, you win the Elle New Talent competition. And if you had to describe your journey from 2003 to 2015, what's the one word you would use?
Phew. Tenacity. That's what you need, because the journey has been very dramatic. And for one to go through for like 13 years and still be standing, you gotta have the chutzpah.
Absolutely.
And just build a concrete wall around you to say, I'm gonna do this, come what may. We've had a lot of challenges in the brand. We fell and we stood up, and we just keep growing and just keep going, because I believe the challenges, they are just like a training session for you to become a better person.
And that's what I love about the David Tlale brand, is that it really did grow up in the face and the eyes of South Africans. But in the beginning of your brand, you focused very strongly on couture, very strongly on rich fabrics and, craftsmanship. Since then, you've kind of slowly moved away from couture. Why that change?
The journey had to start on a very high note because of building the brand, and also to say, how do I set myself apart from the rest of the designers in South Africa, and to say, what is that one thing that's going to make us distinct? And we had to focus on couture. The more drama it was, the better it was. And now focusing on ready-to-wear has had to become a business shift and business decision to say, very few people buy couture, but what really sells is ready to wear. But not saying we've stopped making couture, because people still love couture pieces.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I mean, you know, a couple of months ago, you then launched, like you said, ready to wear, easy access. David Tlale, walk into a boutique and actually buy a piece from you. It's a big deal for any designer, any person who makes clothing, to have their own standalone, you know, flagship store. How did you feel on the day of the opening of that shop?
That was really amazing, because I think it was a dream come true. And also the address just makes it right to be there. And also to say, you know, to become a global designer, you gotta have presence in your own country, and people gotta consume your product on a daily basis. And I always look at young designers, they're like, I got a brand, like, who wears your clothes on a daily basis? Very few. So I always say, if you wanna call yourself a brand, you gotta have people that are consuming your brand on a daily basis. Whether it be funeral, whether it wedding, whether we're going to work or party or anything, they gotta be consuming you. So having a first standalone store was like everything. And later on, we opened the second one in Durban, which was like phenomenal.
That's fantastic. And let's talk about going global and being the first person to do certain things. 2015 is going to mark your 6th year of showing at the New York Fashion Week, the only South African designer who does that. Do you remember the first time you walked into the New York Fashion Week? And how was the experience? Your very first, it was an installation the first time you were there.
Our first solo installation was groundbreaking and mind-blowing as well, because here you are on schedule with the likes of Donna Karan, Ralph Rucci, you name it. And here you are showcasing at 10 o'clock on Sunday and expecting who's gonna come. And guess what? You open the doors are packed. People are waiting to come and experience this installation from this South African designer. And immediately I saw the doors open, it was like amazing. I mean, we had the likes of Fen Mallis coming, who is the founder of New York Fashion Week. And I mean, getting like a stamp of approval from her, for me, was like everything.
Yeah. What do you think it is about your clothes that makes it, you know, so received by international clients, international celebrities? What is it about the David Tlale item that you think they love so much?
I think more than anything else is we benchmark ourselves as a brand with global brands, and also saying if any global designer can make it, so can David Tlale make it. Because as a designer, we are all human beings. We've got 2 hands, same brain, 2 eyes and everything. So why can't we make it as South African designers? Then I focus mostly on high quality fabrics, luxury fabrics, and also more than anything else is about the experience that you have when you're wearing the garment. I mean, from the lining inside, the craftsmanship of the product, and the finishing of the product actually tells a story and just sets us apart from other designers that are doing their own thing, which I always say we're not competition. We have over 51 million citizens in South Africa.
Absolutely.
So we're not competition. So each and every designer, they're all running their lane or their race in their lane, and so does David Tlale does.
I love that.
Yeah.
And in 2000 and in 2011, you had 92 models. Celebrities, sports personalities, models. You closed down the iconic Nelson Mandela Bridge in Johannesburg, and to celebrate Tata's 92nd birthday. And you had all these models and superstars walking down Nelson Mandela Bridge. That was incredible, never done before.
Thank you.
What was the inspiration behind that? Because we are, of course, celebrating, you know, July is Nelson Mandela month.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, the whole idea came about. My studio was literally across Nelson Mandela Bridge, and never thought of a fashion show, and just like kept working, blah, 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 blah. And then when Fashion Week was coming into the city of Joburg, I was like, okay, they had different venues and everything else. And my show producer, Jan Malan, said, where are we gonna showcase? I'm like, I don't know, I will find the venue. So until a week and a half before the shows, and then it's like, okay, boom, I've got it, Nelson Mandela Bridge. He goes, you're crazy. I'm like,
we can do it.
Let's do it. And he goes, yes, I love it. It's going to be a beautiful closing for the show.
Amazing.
And then obviously we had to like plug in the story of celebrating Nelson Mandela, and also with 92 models and people that actually made Joburg or Gauteng or even South Africa to be what it is.
Yeah.
And I think that was the greatest moment of it for our brand.
Absolutely. But a little bit later, I'm going to ask you, I mean, you know, Utata would have turned 97 on the 18th of July. I want to know what you're doing for him, you know, this year. Plus, David Tlale is going to be showing us some beautiful garments from his brand new collection, so do not go anywhere. If you have any questions for him, you know exactly where to find us, at Afternoon Chat on Twitter. But if you and your plus one, your bestie or your lover would like to experience 24 hours in my life, hanging here on set with the likes of the King David, enjoying the city life and turning love on, whether you're in love or looking for love, just take a pic of you and your Revlon Color Stay Foundation and tweet at Afternoon Chat and use the hashtags #Foundation Fridays and #LoveIsOn. This amazing 25,000 Rand prize includes an all-expenses-paid trip to Cape Town for two, dinner at an A-list restaurant, plus 10,000 Rand shopping sprees. So get tweeting right about now. Don't forget those hashtags, right? One more time. #Foundation Fridays, #LoveIsOn. When we continue, we celebrate more fashion right here on Afternoon Express on SABC3. Don't move.
Express yourself. Express yourself.
Welcome back to Afternoon Express, South Africa. So today in the kitchen, we're taking a culinary journey all the way to Vietnam, and we're making some pork cooked in coconut water. So Claire, this sounds absolutely delicious. First of all, I love coconuts. Everyone knows that. And you're making a dish that I don't cook with much, which is pork, because I find it a fatty meat, but it's actually so tasty and I dig it.
Well, this is the thing with fatty meats, is that all the flavor actually lies in the fat. So most people are a bit scared and they cut off all the fats and they just have that lean meat, which is fantastically delicious. But true fact, the flavor is in the fat.
That's the thing. So all relationships also find somebody with a little bit extra weight, because all that flavor in that relationship is going to come from that extra little fat. All right, let's get going.
Okay, so like we spoke about, nice fatty pork belly.
Yummy.
Really, really, really full of flavor, delicious cut of meat. So you're on that, and I'm going to take all of this and we're really just going to marinate. We're focusing on marinating here.
Amazing.
It is a very important step with this recipe.
Yes.
You want to develop the flavor and really soak up all that flavor into the pork belly.
So you said it's Vietnamese. What flavors are you using that are quite Vietnamese in here?
So we've got a 5 spice, which is incredibly traditional. Star anise, just that sort of licoricey flavor coming through. Very, very classic.
Yummy.
And then the pièce de résistance of Asian food is the fish sauce.
Okay.
Some find it really daunting and really scary and incredibly fishy, but it's really good. It's really
I can
delicious.
smell it from here. Can I use a spoon to just
Yeah, you can do
mix
it.
this
So
up?
just a sprinkling of the fish sauce.
Just as you open that lid.
You're not really selling this recipe
I know.
very well.
I probably once it's cooked, it'll smell good.
No, it's amazing. It really, it blends into all the flavors and cooks down and adds just that sort of fragrant saltiness to it. That's the sort of...
The trick of this one.
Yeah. Okay, now comes the good part, is the dark soy sauce. It's going to really colour the pork belly.
And
You're
I'm a
really
big fan
looking
of
for
sauce. Don't be shy.
dark colour. And this as well is all the saltiness happening in here as well, so no extra salt. You really want to coat all of that pork and get it... You're almost changing the colour of the pork. You want it to get as dark as possible.
Okay.
Okay, so in goes dark, brown sugar. Sort of your demerara, muscovado, that sort of thing. So it's just going to sort of offset the incredibly saltiness of your soy sauce and your fish sauce and just bring out all of that sweetness. Again, on the sweetness note is shallots.
Okay.
Also very sort of, you wouldn't think so, but quite typical of Asian cuisine. So shallots go really well with this dish. And also, if you have some extra on the side, what I like to do is slice them up, roll them in a little bit of flour, and then fry them and put that with it. So it's crispy onion.
That's like almost like deep fried onions. It's so cool.
It's a little like, it's like a mini onion ring.
How cool is that?
It's so good. You know, my theory in terms of marinating is always as long as you can. But like I said, with this one, it's quite important to marinate it. So I would like to say 3 hours if possible, or overnight. But otherwise, best case scenario, let's go for half an hour. So it's just sort of soaked up a little bit. Okay, so then I'm going to add in those spring onions just for you.
Yummy, thank you, my favorites.
Save some for later on the top of your dish. And then in goes some more of the star anise. The star anise is dried, so it's not really going to take up too much flavour here. That's going to come into the wet process. But, you know, we're putting it all in there, so we may as well get it all in and save ourselves some time. Then goes in the 5 spice.
5 spice. What are the 5 spices in 5 spice?
Okay, so let me try and remember. Cumin, coriander, bay leaf, allspice, and star anise.
Oh, yeah, well done. I would give you a high five, but my hands are busy here. And in terms of that 5 spice, can you put those spices individually in if you maybe can't find it?
Of course. Yeah, it's just the thing with the 5 spice is that it's all sort of measured out for you. So you're getting the right mix of it all. You might end up putting tons of star anise, and that's kind of a hectic flavour to go for. That's it.
And that's just going to sit there for a little bit while that's going to kind of soak in. What are we serving this with today?
Rice.
Rice. Okay.
Rice. And strangely enough, what it's typically served with is when you cook it, you actually add a boiled egg into the mix. and
Lovely.
that boiled egg takes on all that flavor. But I'm not a big fan of the boiled egg scenario in the mix there,
Yes.
so I'm just leaving it as it is.
Fantastic. So this is going to sit for a little while, soak in all of those beautiful, beautiful flavors. While we get this ready, Bonnie is standing by with Noluthando Meje on the couch.
Thank you, Danilo. She's a bubbly and beautiful young actress who many of us have come to love through her character Zukisa Kondile, the timid and humble housekeeper on Isidingo. She also has the voice of an angel and was recently chosen to present the sing-off on SABC1. Joining us on the couch now is Noluthando Meje. Welcome, Nols.
Yes, Bonnie, engosi wethu.
Unjani wethu?
I'm good. Engosi kakhulu. I'm good. I'm blessed. I'm blessed.
Awesome. Okay, so you're a singer, a songwriter, a presenter, and an actress, all at the tender age of 28.
Yes, can you believe it?
Wow,
I'm
what a
older.
journey. Did you expect to be here at this age?
You know what? It is something I've always wanted to do. I started, acting at the age of 5, so I always knew, but I want to be in the entertainment industry, be it as an actress, presenter, or singer. I just want to perform, and yeah, well, look where I am now.
And you knew, do you think at the age of 5 you fell in love with it? Or?
At the age of 5, I fell in love with just being loud and always talking to people and appearing in front of the camera. That's it. I didn't fall in love with acting instantly.
Yes,
but, along the way, I said, hey, maybe Lento, I can try it. And,
Yes. I know you're a very hardworking young lady and you're also an amazing singer. When did your love for singing begin? When was the moment where you sang and you were like, I can sing and I'm going to do this for the rest of my life?
That was very late because I was never confident when it came to singing. My sister was the one who was always singing.
Yeah.
So one day I decided, okay, let me try this singing thing.
What song?
Celine Dion.
Celine Dion.
Yeah, you know. And then my mother heard that and she's like, actually, you can sing. But I was very shy. I was always about, let's sing in a group. I'll do the first harmony, second voice, third voice. I'll be that girl. But to sing by myself, I can't.
Because you entered Idols.
Yes.
And what was that whole experience like?
It was interesting. It was exciting. A crazy, crazy journey. Yeah, I had fun. I had fun. Yeah, and I wouldn't go back there again. And yeah, that's just me.
Now you play a loved character, Zukisa, on Isidingo, one of South Africa's most loved soaps. Were you ready for the magnitude of that kind of a platform?
To be honest with you, not really, because, in the beginning, finding out about the character I was to play, I wasn't sure about how long she was going to be on the show. And obviously my performance was going to determine that. Obviously, Isidingo in itself is a big and great platform.
It's a big brand,
and yeah, well, people apparently love the Kondiles, so yeah.
What do you love most about playing that character? And what do you find most challenging about playing that character?
I think because Uzugisa is like the total opposite of me. I'm loud, I'm crazy, and I don't let anyone speak down to me. Uzugisa, on the other hand, she is very quiet and timid, and she's very calm.
Yes.
She's like a wife, man, a typical wife. What I like about her, I like the fact that she's got a lot of respect, and she's a lady. Yeah, she's a woman, and yeah.
In 2011, you were part of the 72 young women who were chosen by Michelle Obama as 75 inspirational women in South Africa. And that experience, what did you learn from that?
You know what? It was one amazing experience. There are other 74 amazing young African women leaders, across, obviously, Africa. And we got to learn, different stories and how they're doing so much with their communities. And, I mean, to be recognized by Miss Obama is something big. It's amazing. And I was shocked. I was like...
What was she like? What stood out for you about her?
You know what? She's a lady, man. She's a woman. She's like... I don't know, she was just amazing. Like, we sat there, in a little circle, and we spoke to her, and I was just like...
In awe.
I was like, oh my gosh, this is Miss Obama. And she was so, relaxed, chill. She's like, girls, you need to relax. I'm one of y'all. And I was like, one of y'all, honey, you got a president.
I don't think so. I don't think so. You're married to a president.
Yeah, so, but, I think if anything, I'm honored to be part of it still, and it's amazing. And
And presenting the sing-off?
A lot of people know about I love harmonies and I love singing, So with the sing-off, it's only a cappella, voices only.
Wow.
The talent in South Africa is amazing.
It's insane.
It's amazing. When it comes to a cappella, I saw something else.
Wow.
It was a lot of fun. Got really emotional because, I got to know the contestants, we shared a lot together. We were like families, so. But it's over now, and yeah, I had a lot of fun.
Well, hopefully we look forward to a second season.
Yes.
Now, a little birdie told us that you're brilliant with accents, specifically a chipmunk accent, a Nigerian accent,
Really?
and one other one.
Who said that?
So we're going to put you to the test and just
Really?
let our viewers savor this talent of yours.
Okay. Oeh, my mag, I kan nie sien. Okay. Make sure you catch our Afternoon Express every weekday at 4 p.m. Find it on 3. Is it right? Nah, I can't really see.
You can't really see. But that was fine. That's it. And your next accent?
The Nigerian one.
You can either... in fact, I'd love to hear the chipmunk one and the Nigerian one.
Must I read that?
Yeah, you can read
Okay.
that.
Are you ready? Yeah? Okay. Make sure I catch Afternoon Express every day at 4 o'clock. You're going to find it on 3. Okay? And then my other one.
Chipmunk.
Oh, wait.
Make sure you catch Afternoon Express every Wednesday at 4 p.m. Find it on 3.
Oh. That's so
You
embarrassing.
rocked. You rocked.
Thank you.
All done for all that chutzpah.
Thank you so much. It was so cool.
What's next for you? What are the dreams you want to accomplish?
Well, I've just kind of started a little business because I studied PR. So multimedia.
I also studied PR.
Did you?
Yeah.
High five,
Yeah,
high five.
man.
So I want to go back into that as well. Obviously now my role is kind of getting intense on the
Okay.
dingo, so kind of need to focus on
The
that as
dingo,
well.
yeah.
Yeah, with the new past, everyone knows the whole drama going on. But yeah, that and more stuff to come, which I always like kind of keep hush-hush and let it speak for itself.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Less announcements, more doing.
You know what I mean, sister girl?
I've always been inspired by you. Thank you so much for joining us. Awesome. Don't go anywhere. After the break, Alexis May joins us along with Jackie Berger and Leila Peterson to share some style advice in the next installment of our fabulous fashion series. And don't forget to enter our Go Green competition. Take a look at this.
The Afternoon Express team is going green. Join us every Tuesday at 4 p.m. until September as we bring you the most innovative trends in sustainable fashion, food, decor and design, as well as handy tips to help you reduce your carbon footprint.
Answer our Go Green question every Tuesday and stand a chance to win a £1,000 Woolies gift card every week.
Plus, if you answer all 12 questions correctly, you'll be entered into our draw for the ultimate grand prize valued at more than R500,000.
Including a dream sustainable kitchen makeover from Cordev worth R300,000. Also, up to R250,000 worth of home upgrades so you can live off the grid. Plus, food and homeware from Woolworths valued at R75,000. And a R25,000 towards a school of your choice with My School.
So, go big, go green with Afternoon Express every Tuesday at 4 p.m. to win these amazing prizes.
Express yourself.
South Africa, are you with us?
Express yourself.
Welcome back to Afternoon Express here on SABC3. The Skip Fashion series is all about sharing our love of clothes and learning how we can dazzle with our own fabulous style. Joining us in the loft today are fashion experts Alexis May, Leila Peterson and Jackie Berger, here to share their vast expertise on style in all areas. Welcome to the loft, ladies. It's lovely to have you. I can't wait to talk fashion. Let's start with the basics. How do I build my wardrobe sensibly?
So I think the core foundation items are how you build your wardrobe. So think denim jeans, white shirts, pencil skirt, trench coat. Some coats are always essential. A classic tote, nice leather classic tote. I always say that if your accessories are expensive, so your shoes and your handbags, then the whole outfit looks expensive.
So true.
So that's always a great tip to think about when getting dressed.
Okay.
And then another one, I love a leopard print. It's like one of my favorite prints. So a leopard print flat in your wardrobe is an essential item as well. So those for me are the core building blocks of a great robe.
Awesome.
I think style strategy is absolutely paramount. And the first step to create style strategy is to understand the basic principles of your wardrobe, exactly what Leila alluded to. And staples, key, investment, quality, but I also always want women to embrace the individuality and not allow the wardrobe to become a uniform.
Oh, wow.
And once you have your basics, a lot of people are really negligent when it comes to actually caring for their clothes. So they spend a lot of money buying the clothes, and then they don't read the wash care labels. They basically destroy their garment. So when you have your basics, you don't really want to be buying the same basics season after season. Seasonally, you want to be buying your trendy items. So your core basics that you've invested in, you want to store them carefully where you can actually see them in your wardrobe.
See them.
And you want to wash them
You
with care.
basically want a walk-in closet, right? Is that what you're saying?
Absolutely. Aim like a store.
But also clutter is one of the biggest problems, that because we're in a hurry, so it's just not really organizing. So I'm so with you on that one.
Awesome. And then you discover like a beautiful jacket that you haven't worn in a year because it was hidden behind like two other ones.
Or not taken care of.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's what Skip is there for, because it's got that fiber technology that actually keeps your fabrics looking beautiful.
That's wonderful. Right, so now when it comes to those trends like prints, what are the do's and don'ts?
My first style tip when it comes to prints would be that it's best to wear a print with a solid colour. So let's say Jackie is doing it very perfectly today.
Oh, perfect.
She's wearing a print.
Planned.
Exactly.
She's always on point, darling.
Always on trend. So we're looking at Jackie's skirt now, and it's got a very beautiful floral print, and then she's nicely complemented it with the solid colour top.
Right.
So that's the easiest way to style the trend. And then for the more daring individuals, you can clash prints. It's a bit tricky, I know. It's a very tricky.
It's a hit or miss, hey?
But the thing is, the one thing to remember is to keep the colours in the same family. So, you know, if it's got a grey and a navy, just make sure that the colours complement each other, because then they'll flow nicely and they'll look great together.
Right.
So don't do leopard and stripes.
Yeah, that's
the hard
Unless you really know what you're doing.
hard and fast.
I was going to add to that. I mean, prints is fun, but it's also, there's so many prints around. So choose the one that really resonates with your wardrobe, you know, and also the item, because some items work better in, for instance, an animal print versus a floral print or a graphic or an art print. So be very selective when you look at that. And we touched on animal prints earlier. It is very sexy. There is a sense of seduction to it, but be very careful not to overdo it. And then coming back to the layering of prints, I always err on the cautious side, because if you go wrong, it's horribly wrong, and it's quite an expert eye to get it right.
Yeah.
And if you're one of those individuals who are a bit scared of prints, they just want to dip their toe into the trend, then why not try accessories? Printed heel?
Yeah, or printed stockings.
Exactly, or printed clutch is always a great alternative.
I think also something to consider with prints is the size of the print relevant to the proportion of your body, because it can, you know, from horizontal to vertical, so you can use it to really elongate your body or to sort of change things, but your eye needs to be quite detailed and attuned to find the right print.
Awesome. Okay, so we can make a lot of mistakes when it comes to fashion trends. How does a woman make sure she's dressing her age?
Right.
I'm not taking that.
Not taking it.
Although I'm dying to.
I think Hollywood have, you know, the celebrities in Hollywood have really blurred the lines when it comes to dressing for your age. If we look at J.Lo at the latest awards, her plunging necklines are quite daring for somebody who's in her 40s. And not that I'm saying that your age, you know, but there are some guidelines that one should consider. In your 20s, I think this is the time you want to experiment, you know, clash your prints in clever ways, wear bold colours, and don't be too afraid about your hemlines. Go super short or maxi. You know, this is when you can experiment and really push the edge, fashion edge. And then in your 30s, this is when you need to start building, you know, investing in those building blocks, those fashion building blocks, like spending a bit more money on your items that are your forever pieces.
Quality shoes as well.
Quality shoes, quality, exactly. And then mixing them in with your faster fashion pieces. And, you know, just be clever with your fashion choices. And then in your 40s, this is when you really know your body. You know what suits you, you know what colors, what prints, and so you try to then stick to those, because now you've got your signature style. So this is when you can start, you've refined your look, and so now you can, you know, look glamorous all the time.
I also think you need to be careful, you know, as you age, what your body shape was and the colors that suited you in your 20s or 30s may be completely different going into your 40s and 50s.
Right.
So you need to almost reevaluate, okay, what is my body shape now? What colors should I be wearing now? And you can easily test colors up to your face.
Yeah.
You know, very, very bold colors. As our skin gets paler, you know, hopefully, as we get older, we realize we mustn't tan quite as much. And, you know, our skin tone, it may lighten and our hair may lighten.
Right.
And those really bold, bright colors you can get away with in your 20s, you can't wear anymore. So it's a constant, you know, reassessment of yourself. And there's nothing wrong with that. You know, we have a long, full life ahead of us and we should be fabulous for most of it.
I've got a bit of a different opinion.
Yay! A different opinion!
I think, yes, a lot of what we've been discussing is very relevant, but I think what tends to happen as women age is they lose their confidence and they actually bring out the rule book too much. The essence of, for me, style, color, fit, everything that we spoke about, it can still apply. Because as you get older, your grooming also needs to be a lot more considered, and that's how you can then also work with your hair, your skin tones, everything. And then it's really the thing that's changed for me most importantly is the tailoring of your garment. Because if a garment is very well tailored, it actually tucks the proportion perfectly. And in terms of color, when you're younger, you might be buying into more cost-effective wardrobe. As you get older, it's investment pieces, and a quality fabric can always be worn in any color, honestly, but it's the quality of the garment. So I just, for me, I don't want to bring out the rule book as I age, but it's more about understanding the quality that you buy into.
Yeah, I really love that point, because we need to counter this whole ageist notion that's
because
prevalent
it puts
right now.
women into a box,
Yes,
and you
it
actually
does.
can, you know, it's a reflection and a celebration. It's actually one of the most liberating times of your life.
Wonderful. So what are the basics of women dressing their size?
It's so difficult in South Africa because we've got so many different shapes and sizes. And coming back to that, it's also then great to tailor your clothing, because fit is really important. And if something fits properly, it'll just you'll look slimmer, you'll look more put together.
Yes. Accessories, actually, a lot of people, when they're dressing for their body shape, they always fixate on the clothes. But accessories can actually do a lot in flattering your outfit and changing your body shape, believe it or not. So like you have your statement neck piece, not only does it add to your outfit, but it also tricks the eye above the waistline. Or if you are, you know, more up and down with less curves, if you put a beautiful belt with a very dark dress, the eye is going to go to that belt and you're going to look more curvaceous. And I love this. There was quite a famous stylist in Hollywood that said, the bigger your bag, the smaller your bum looks. And I know
Isn't that incredible?
It sounds ridiculous, but it's true.
I hope you heard that.
Because when you're holding your bag here and it's this large bag, then really what's underneath, no one cares.
That's so true.
Thank you so much, ladies. This is such valuable advice.
It's been great to be here.
Thanks. Thank you, Bonnie.
Now you have all the expert tips you need to look amazing. Share your fabulous at the Skip Fashion Exchange happening in Johannesburg on Thursday, the 13th of August. Book your tickets right away. Details on screen now. We're also giving away a 6-month supply of Skip to keep your clothes beautiful. Simply SMS the keyword Skip along with your name and city to 33728, and we could be calling you to claim your prize. Don't go away. We'll see you after the break.
Skip loves your clothes as much as you do.
Welcome back to Afternoon Express right here on SABC3 as we continue our Fashion Thursdays right here on the show. We're still chilling with South African designer David Tlale as he's about to show us some items from his latest collection called The Aftermath. But before we bring the ladies out, earlier on I asked you what you're doing this year for Nelson Mandela's birthday on the 18th of July. He would have celebrated his 97th birthday. Are you commemorating him 67 minutes of your time? What are you doing?
So this Saturday we'll be giving away 18 metric tons dresses to kids that live in an orphanage. And it's not going to be now, but the metric dance happens in September, November. So that's what we're donating to a home.
That's incredible. Now let's talk about this collection that we're about to see and the inspiration behind it. I love the creative process, especially when I speak to musicians and specifically fashion designers. How does it start with you when you put a brand new collection together?
Well, it varies. Sometimes it's the fabric, sometimes it's the sketches, sometimes it's purely just pattern making and just pattern draping. So there's never like a manual that, okay, I'm gonna have to sketch and stuff. So it's just like, it's an organic process. And I never force myself to say, okay, I have to sketch. I just, because it's an inner thing. It has to come naturally.
Absolutely.
And you don't have to press a computer to say, okay, start being creative. Sometimes the creative process starts when I'm in my travels. And it just like starts writing ideas and just keynote things for a collection.
Yeah. So let's talk about this particular collection, what the inspiration was behind The Aftermath. I see very graphic, also very soft, like easy to wear, and very David Tlale, very bold and, you know, quite comfortable as well, it seems.
Yeah, I mean, we focus on the print and the effect of the aftermath of the volcano when the Vala is just becoming dry. So you see the textures of the blacks and the beige coming through, and just more than anything else, the fluidity of the Vala. And I mean, you see the blouses and the pants are just like flowy and easy. Yes, aftermath is known to be hard and very like painful because, I mean, volcano has just happened, but translating it into fabrics like very soft, I mean, while it's still boiling, and just becomes sexy.
I see it. Now that you say it, I absolutely see it. But, you know, what goes into putting together a David Tlale show? I mean, from choosing the models, to the hair, to the makeup. It is quite a, you know, a process, be it New York Fashion Week, be it Cape Town Fashion Week. It must take a lot of time.
It does, because, I mean, first of all, when you create a collection, you want a particular look for a model. Not everybody belongs in that collection. Yes, everybody's a model. Not every model belongs there. So because you have to tell a story with, sometimes you call models the hanger. With the hanger that you put it on.
Very rude, but we love it.
But that's what it is, because at the end of the day, you gotta sell the product. And they gotta sell the product. So you want a particular look of a model, and working with a show producer is like very important because the music sets the tone, and you know the AV projections in the room, you know, sets the tone. So people get to understand what is it that you're trying to say.
With this collection, I'm seeing a lot of separates. I see a pencil skirt, obviously, and a blouse. This is probably will be available in the David Tlale boutique, right? The Aftermath collection.
Definitely. I mean, the whole idea behind the collection is that people should be able to put the pieces together on their own and complement pants, jackets and blouses, and more than anything else, just to say it's high fashion and it's got to look absolutely beautiful.
But I mean, the David Tlale woman is very bold. She's not scared to wear print, to wear shoulders, to wear fabric, to wear print, to wear textures, to be over the top. Is that the kind of woman you design for? Is that what you want women to feel when they put on your clothes?
I always say you've got to 10 heads as you walk into a room. If you don't, then I have failed as a designer. So your boldness and your elegance and also your timelessness has everything to do with whatever you wear from a David Tlale range.
So where was this Aftermath collection shown? It is absolutely stunning.
We actually debuted it at New York Fashion Week. It's our current fall collection, which is going into our store in the next 2 weeks in Johannesburg and also in Durban. And also, if you wanted, you can just highlight us.
And I mean, you can buy all of the separates, like this particular suit.
Absolutely.
You know, the jacket, the blazer, the pants, the blouse, everything will be available.
Yeah, separately.
I love this.
Oh, thank you.
That is beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, the idea behind this dress was like, I mean, you can wear it to a cocktail or to a gala, but also just like dress it down a little bit with a David Tlale leather belt, which is just like very chic and very current. And I've always said, because it's winter, it doesn't mean people need to be wearing 5 layers. All you need is a beautiful killer coat, because when you go to an event, you're not always in your coat. You walk in, coat check, and look beautiful.
And one thing that a lot of people might not know is that David Tlale doesn't only make clothing. You make handbags.
Yes.
You make belts. We can find all of this in the boutique, right?
Yes,
because
definitely.
I remember I was on a recent trip with you in Mauritius and you had the most spectacular bag. I'm like, oh, that Versace bag is cute. You're like, no, darling,
no.
it's David Tlale. I felt
David.
Look at Nolly Knowles, our showstopper
All
today.
right,
That is
okay,
fantastic. The belt around her, is that also
It's a David
DT?
Tlale belt.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the inspiration behind this look, I love it. That's something I would wear, the
I mean,
blazer
this
with the
look,
skirt.
I mean, it's purely just to say you can always like dress it down. You can basically wear the skirt to office with a blouse, and then at night put on the jacket and go to a cocktail or to a gala dinner or a night out with girls.
Yeah. Nolly, you look fabulous, darling. Hey.
It's not about you.
Working girl.
It's not about you.
And what you're seeing right now is, of course, the Aftermath collection, which is the latest collection from David Tlale. Thank you so much to Nolly Knowles and to our spectacular models. Like he said, that collection will be available at all David Tlale boutiques all across the country. But the 1st of August 2015, the world awaits for a brand new David Tlale collection. What can we expect at Cape Town Fashion Week?
Cape Town Fashion Week will be showcasing or debuting our bridal collection, David Tlale Bridal.
Finally!
Yes, so, and it's going to be art meets bridal, and it's going to be beautiful. So watch the space.
Well, there you go. On the 1st of August, the world awaits for a brand new David Tlale collection. We can't wait for that. Cape Town Fashion Week is going to be spectacular. Thank you so much to David for coming. And of course, the Aftermath collection that you see right here is incredible. Can't wait for it to hit all the boutiques. But right now, let's check in with Bonnie as she sat down with a tea master.
Not all tea is created equal. Some teas are of a far more superior quality than others. But how do you know if the tea that you are drinking is of the best quality? Well, let's get the scoop from our tea master, Dinesh. Welcome back, Dinesh.
Thank you very much.
Dinesh, how did you become a tea master?
Well, tea has always been a part of my life. My father was a tea master, and he initially taught me the art of tea tasting. I joined the largest broking house in Sri Lanka. That's where I learned all my tasting skills. Tea tasting is not learned through any formal qualifications.
Right.
You need to taste for hundreds of hours, hundreds of cups of tea a day, under watchful eye of the senior tea masters, them telling you what's right and wrong. And that's how you actually learn to taste tea. And after I learned my tasting at the broking house, I joined a specialty trading house.
Nice.
And that's where I learned to buy and blend tea and the supply chain events that go through with it. There's no shortcut to learning tea or mastering the tea trade. It's a lifelong journey.
It's quite a process, yes.
It is.
There's definitely no substitute for experience. But what does the job of a tea master entail?
Well, the main part of my job is to taste tea. We taste tea and we select the correct teas to make the quality blends that we do. And once we have bought these teas, we get involved in the supply chain to bring the teas to South Africa into our factory. Once the teas get into our factory, we taste the teas again to choose the correct teas to go into the blend to get all those attributes that are needed to make the perfect cup of 5 roses.
Wow. Now, what gives 5 roses its superior taste? What tasting notes do we look out for when drinking a cup?
The main reason is the high-quality Ceylon teas that we purchase and add into our blend. This gives our blend the unique taste, the flavor, the aroma, and if I'm to put some milk in here, it also gives you our golden color that we look for in 5 roses.
Awesome.
And if you do take a sip of that, you'd also get the smoothness that comes through in the Five Roses blend.
It is very smooth now that you say that. And
So-
what does blending entail?
So blending entails purchasing teas from different origins and different gardens. We have our Ceylon teas and our African teas, and it means putting these teas together to get the correct mix and to get the correct flavor notes and color to make that perfect blend.
Wow, it's quite an involved process.
It is indeed.
Well, thank you so much, Dinesh. It's always lovely to have you.
Thank you very much for having me.
There you have it. That's what it takes to be a master tea. So next time you're sipping on your daily cuppa, remember what went into creating that perfect cup.
Any occasion, anytime. Nobody makes better tea than you and Five Roses.
Welcome back, South Africa, to Afternoon Express. So we've let our meat settle for a little while, soaking in all those awesome flavors. It's time for us now to use that coconut water, which we've been speaking about so much, to get that whole marinade going. So Claire, what are we going to do now?
Okay, so first of all, the onions go in. So just some regular white onions into a very hot pan, lots of oil.
Okay. Finely chopped, right?
Finely chopped, like I said, very hot. These are going to start browning, and we're going to actually sear off our meat, sort of piece by piece, is because you want to brown it. If you dunk the whole thing in and marinade, it's actually just going to stew the
And
meat.
boil it, yeah.
Exactly. So we want to just get a little bit of colour on there before we actually start the stewing process. So in a perfect world, when we have more time, you would not overcrowd the pan, put probably half the mixture
Okay,
in.
so like that, sort of.
So for the sake of showing everyone what we're going to do, that's sort of browned off a little bit.
Okay, that would need to go for a little bit longer, obviously, in the real world.
Okay, now comes the cool part.
Yay!
The coconut water.
Okay. I'll open this one up for you.
So Woolworths has just started to sell coconut water, which is so cool because
is,
I can literally drink this stuff by the litre.
Gallons
it's
of it
so
all in.
yummy. Go for it. You
And
want
look, what I love most about coconut water is it is refreshing too, and it's light. Apparently, it's really good for you.
It really is delicious, and I use it as just sort of a good hydrator, just to sort of pick you up for the day.
Yeah.
That's good. Go for it. Yeah.
All of it.
So,
Let's just finish it off in there.
yeah, you may as well. So you're effectively looking to cover up the meat just until sort of all the meat is submerged into the coconut water, and then that's going to slowly bubble away. And then as it bubbles, the coconut water is quite high in natural sugars. So those sugars sort of condense and caramelize. So you effectively end up with like a caramel pork.
Amazing.
Which is
well, we don't
pretty
actually obviously have the
amazing.
time to do all of this marinating down, so it takes about 2 hours for that thing to finish. So we've kind of prepared one here, and I wanted to show everybody what we've prepared. So once your whole thing's done, this is what it should look like. Ta-da!
So that's the sort of what you want to, the fancy term for
That's
the
salty.
umami flavour.
Umami. Lovely. As you promised, the meat is also browned a little bit, so it's got a nice coloured, darker colour to it, which I love. So should we take it to the ladies?
Yes, let's do that.
Well, ladies and
You
Jane,
can do
too, is on
the carrying
at the
of
table. I'll do this.
the heavy stuff.
And it's nice and hot. Perfect. Hope you guys are ready.
Yes, we are. Don't burn anybody, don't it? Okay, that looks fantastic.
I'll try. So a little
There
bit
you
of
go.
rice, a little bit of pork, and you're good to go.
Claire, you are just perfect.
Yeah.
Arnie and I are sitting here thinking, like, Claire is just so perfect.
Yes, we were
she's
talking about our
skinny, she
perfect
cooks,
job.
she's beautiful, she's funny.
And you're nice.
You're nice, you cook.
We all have our flaws. I have many, many, many.
I know she ain't single though.
Aha. Well, a big thank you to David for coming through. David Tlale, always a pleasure. We can't wait to see you at Cape Town Fashion Week. And Nolly Knowles, we will see you tonight.
Yes.
On Isidingo.
Yes, at 7. Thanks, Dad. At 7 p.m.
We can't wait. Well, right after Isidingo, make sure that you can catch Top Billing this evening at 7:30 right here on SABC3. There's lots to look forward to. Now, listen to this. Nico's going to be meeting up with Stormer's fullback, Cheston Cobbler, and his girlfriend. They have fun go-karting and meet up with his parents who played an important role in the sporting development. Looking forward to that. Jade, all right, who's a brand new addition to the Top Billing family, catches up with designers Laduma Ngokolo from Laduma and Baledi Sekhapo from the Pulse home at the SA Menswear Collection. That's going to be fantastic. Fashion Week was incredible. And of course, Roxy hangs out with Bridget Masinga and her sister, and together they enjoy some decadent sweet meals at a chocolate studio. All that and more tonight on Top Billing for the very best of the good life. Looking forward to that. Danilo,
Yes.
did you have fun today?
I actually did. I had loads of fun cooking this meal because it's one of those ones that cooks for long, and stews are obviously very, very familial in their sort of style.
Yeah.
So I've never really liked cooking stews because I'm always on the go. But this one seems like one that you want to kind of
I
almost
just
print
do
out
not
and
like
keep for the
cooking
family.
at all. But Claire, I love you.
Please taste it. Let me know how it goes.
Yes.
Let's do
I'm
that.
very honored.
But while we do that, thank you so
Pleasure, guys.
much for watching, all right? We'll be back tomorrow, 4 p.m. right here on SABC3. Hopefully we've inspired you and you go out there and support, of course, all loudly and proudly South African fashion. From myself, Bonnie and Delino, it's good evening and happy eating. Good night.
Coming up tomorrow on Afternoon Express, we celebrate everything Madiba leading up to Mandela Day, including the designer of his famous shirts. Struggle icon Ahmed Kathrada reminisces, and the Mahautela Queens treat us to an exclusive performance.
Another feel-good production.
Join us next time for more fabulous fun inspired by First for Women on Afternoon Express. For an insurance quote, call 0861 11 18 44 or SMS FIRST to 49267.